University of Waikato has the Masters of Business Management, the Masters of Applied Finance, the Masters of Professional Accounting. I'll park the digital business aside because I've got specific questions on that one. And the Masters of Management. Now, my first question is, when someone is looking at studying the course, often the question I get asked is, what is the difference between the Masters of Business Management and the Masters of Management? So what is the difference between those two courses that sound pretty much the same?
I think in terms of the Master of Business and Management and the Master of Management is that the two common things, which is actually really good, is that they're both open entry. So I think if you've got a background that isn't in those areas, if you're coming from engineering or another field, those two options are open to you. But in terms of the Master of Business and Management, we have a number of people coming to that program from business, but from IT, from engineering, from humanities. And it gives you a very good and broad management and business exposure all the way through to internships and a project management case studies at the end of that program across the 12 months of the program. And the good thing is that program also is sequenced. So you're not doing subjects concurrently, you're doing consecutively. So you go quite deep within a month or so for each subject. The Master of Management, the difference there is quite simple. There are two majors within that program. You've got marketing and supply chain management as well. So I think if you're looking to really go deep on either marketing or supply chain management, the Master of Management is the program for you. Otherwise, they're very similar structures. We've got quite flexible entry in terms of the timing. As I mentioned, we've got consecutive courses as well. But I think the Master of Management is a new program that we're trying to push. It's actually open for entry in November. But actually, it's got those two subject specializations, which distinguishes it from the Master of Business and Management.
That's really good information. Tanya, from your perspective, because you are interviewing, you are meeting these students that are looking at studying. From a student's perspective, they may have a different background. So I may have done a bachelor's degree in something else. I may not have a background. But a lot of students coming from overseas are quite hellbound on doing an MBA program because that's a more popular name. They don't quite understand the intricacies of the courses. What is the advice that you're giving these students when they're choosing one of those masters?
Well, so the MBA program at Waikato is a proper executive MBA program. So it is only open to students who have a significant amount of work experience and who have work experience at managerial levels. So the MBM program, as I understand it, is kind of like an MBA light, and it is really suitable for people who don't have that level of work experience and they want to go from that entry level to middle management level positions, whereas the MBA is more for people who are already at that mid-management level and want to move into the executive management or senior level management positions. So that's usually how I explain it to students when they want to know whether they could do the MBA or the MBM program. The MBM program is one of the only MBM programs in New Zealand that is accredited by AMBER. So it actually does still have that global recognition that an MBA program has, but it is more suitable for students who don't have that level of work experience.